means here what are the occurs, what are the implements? There is a faster growth of algal blooms, right? These faster growth of algal blooms or they can release an toxic substances. Then the first one is algal growth, the faster growth of algal, faster growth of algal, okay, algal blooms, and they can release some toxic substances. They can release the toxic substances. These toxic substances or causes or leads to death, of the species. Okay, here the desirable fish species can also be death. Fish species can death. Okay, this is the first. Another one. And what are the ecological effects on this eutrophication? Okay, the oxygen levels can be depletions. Oxygen levels can be depleted, decreases. It is also causes not only the desirable fish species. In Hanaromas, flora and fauna is there. The different type of phytoplanktons also be reduced, right? And the green algal cells or the filamentous, they are enter into the gills of the fishes, and it is also causes the death of the fishes. A mass mortality of death is occurs in the water ponds or the cultural ponds. That's why the farmer gets a loss or less productivity is getting by the farmers. Here it can bring the changes in the composition and the biomass of a macrophyte. And next one is depletes the dissolved oxygen and increases the incidence of the fish deaths. Okay, increasing of the fish death and increasing the fishes death. These fishes here desirable fishes. What it means? Where we wants to growing of a labio or Cyprinus formis and Chenadiformis fishes. Okay, these are can get a good yield to the farmer. Okay, these are grow in a short time period time and having a good healthy vitamins and the what are the saturated fats. Okay, and their muscle will also grow in a short period of time. This can give a good productivity to the farm. But when the eutrophication occurs in cultural ponds or any other water body, they can cause us a mass mortality. It can lead to a less profits. The farmer can get the less properties from this eutrophication. And here the ecological system will be disturbed by the eutrophication. Where the dependent, the ecosystem, pond ecosystem, lake ecosystem is there. Here the producers, the primary which is the occupies the base of the ecological pyramid, those are the producers. And next one the primary consumers, secondary, tertiary is there. This complete ecosystem will be disturbed and the food chain also be disturbed by the eutrophication process. Okay, the reduction of fish and shellfish fisheries in the eutrophication. Reduction of fishes, not only fishes is there there is an shellfishes. Where we do the culture, fin fisheries, shell fisheries is there. Okay, their production will be lost by the occurring of the eutrophication. Okay, these are the ecological effects on eutrophication. Ecological effects of eutrophication. The faster growth of toxic and the edible phytoplanktons promoting the blooming of the growth of the these gelatinous zooplanktons. They are making a layer on the surface of water. We have discussed here. That's why the complete ecosystem will be disturbed. This eutrophication indicates us it is not a healthy ecosystem. These ecosystems, either it is good or bad, be measured by the growing of the algae. Some type of algae can also tolerate only in the and good ecosystems. Okay now, and next we will discuss in this session, that is another topic, water management and conservation. Let us discuss. That is water management and conservation. Okay. This is one more important topic in our aquatic biology. What is the water resources? Water management. Water management means where we got the water and what are the resources of the water, right? Here water resources are, main resource is rain. This rain. Main resource of water is rains falling. Okay, and next our earth planet is occupies 3/4 of the part by this water. In the water, the main source of water is rain, right? This is the first and most important. And next one, all water bodies are dependent upon the main source, that is rain. And next one, here the earth planet, the beautiful ecosystem which is present on the earth planet, and the earth planet, these water can occupies 3/4 of parts. And next, here the largest one, aquatic biomes. Aquatic biome, which one is largest one? That is oceanic biomes are largest biomes. Oceanic biomes are the largest one. Here our continent. Okay. This in our world we have the continents, and each continent is surrounded by these waters. Especially in these water bodies, the more of the water percentage is containing these marine or the salt waters. Okay, most of the water is having the salt water content is high. Salt water content is high. And where the fresh water, when we compare with the fresh water, here the fresh water is only up to the 10%. In this 10%, again 3% is present on the glaciers. Okay, the ice. It is in the form of ice. Glaciers forms. So this is the introduction about these structures. But what are the main resources of the waters? Here the lakes, ponds, riverines, and some these water bodies, right? Wells, groundwater wells also one of the most important one. Here the aquatic organisms having their nutrients values, but why we are completely depend upon these water resources? Here the increasing of population in our India. First of all, we are discussing ourselves. Okay, in our India, day by day the population will increases. Okay, in large numbers. That's why the agriculture fields can't give a sufficient food and sufficient nutrients to the populations. That's why the scientists or the peoples are look forward the another industries, that is here the white revolution. This white revolution is mentioning of the high productivity of the milk. And next, where the blue revolution, here the blue revolution is indicates as the high productivity of the fishes, okay. And where the green revolution means here the fertility, so increasing of the paddy. And next one is oryza and the green plants. blue revolution. So beside of these, green revolution, these are can give a good results and good amounts of the productivity, high amounts of the productivity to given to us. That's why our when the getting growing of the people, okay, growing of these people and the population, these are can supports to give a good nutritive food to them. That's why we are another one. Here, which one is related to the aquatic bodies? That is blue revolution. Blue revolution means growing of the fishes, and the fishes can have a valuable nutrient foods, right? That's why here shellfish fishery and finfish fisheries, and which are the marine, these fisheries. And here the blue revolution can categorized into brackish water and marine water. Okay, ma? Brackish water, marine. Okay, and another one, fresh water, inland fisheries, freshwater fisheries, and brackish or the marine water fisheries. In between the estuarine. Okay, here also be. Here, what are the sources in our India to getting a good product from these fields? Okay, to give or to supplying any sufficient nutrient food for the populations. Okay, that's why the blue revolution can go more and more. We are also nowadays the reservoirs, Kaleshwaram and these Polavaram and some the Krishna, Godavari, which are containing a large water bodies, and remaining they have small branches. These are supposed to growing of the fisheries, right? Or artificially we can make the ponds and we can growing of these fisheries, right? Already we discussed in our applied zoology. Okay, and here what are the main water resources, right? Let us discuss in the water resources. Here the freshwater resources. Freshwater resources are nothing but here freshwater resources. Okay, these are the salinity is low in percentages, right, ma? The hence they are called as freshwater bodies. Here our India consists of the that is river lines, especially Ganga, which is located in the North Indian Ganga river system. River system, and next one is Brahmaputra. Okay, Brahmaputra river system, and next one is Sindhu or Indus zone. Sindhu or Indus zone, and next one here the another water resource, Eastern River Belt. Eastern River Belt, right? And another one which is having freshwater resources, that is Western River Belt. Western River Belt, right? Now each and every belt have some their measurements. Okay, what is the distance to maintaining of these rivers? Okay, 3,380 kilometers. This is the Western River Belt, consists of this type of. Okay, and next Eastern River Belt is have the 6,347 kilometers of their coastal areas. And next the Sindhu or Indus zone is consist here 37, here the 6,437, and here the Indus zone 6,771. A slight difference between this Indus and the Eastern River Belt area, and where the Brahmaputra river This Brahmaputra river is occupies 4,023 kilometers, and where the largest riverine, that is Ganga. And the Ganga is occupies 8,047 kilometers. The coastal area or the water, fresh water area which is flows, okay, riverine rivers regions is divided further into 5 zones. River regions divide further 5 zones. What are they? Simply Ganga river, Brahmaputra, Sindhu, eastern and western rivers. Total 5 regions. 5 regions. These 5 regions is mentioned here, the freshwater resources. Here rivers in India, Ganga, okay, and next the Brahmaputra, Narmada, Tapati, Kaveri, so and so rivers is there. Each and every river consists of this fresh water, and which is useful for the establishing of our industries and growing, culturing of these fishes, and this water is utilized by the agriculture fields, and this water will be used by the electricity producing, right ma? Hydroelectricity thermal plants, hydroelectrical plants are made by depending upon these water resources. And where the marine water resources is there. Here the marine water resources are, first of all we are knowing about our geographical structures which are consisting of these water resources, right? Here the marine water resources right, in the first one, second and third, only 3 types. Here the first is the north, west and west, okay, northwest and west area. This is considered Arabian Sea, right ma? Arabian. And next here where the second one more important, that is completely south, the south area which is considered here Hindu Ocean, right? Hindu, or what we said here, that is an Indian Ocean, right? Indian Ocean. Next, where the eastern sides, east and northeast sides, east and northeast sides, it's have the Bay of Bengal. These are the main sources to occupying these marine water resources, okay. The seashore, continental shelves are most important, and these are also useful for the transportations. Here also rivers also be, okay. Here the oceans are mainly useful the transportation of crude oils and some important goods supplies. And here the large harbor in the Vizag, and another one is in Mumbai, okay, and Goa, Cochin, different type of areas we have, which is helpful for us not only by the production of the getting any good nutrient values of food, and these are also be useful in our economic development resources, right? And next one is that where is the estuary? The fresh water is entered and joined with the marine water. That type of junctions are called as estuaries. Here how much of the estuary water is percentage in our India continent? That is the estuaries consist of water consists of this much, that is in million hectares of water. How? 0.76 million hectares of the water is present in the estuary water resources. These all type of water resources are helpful to us to utilizing by our hands, okay. The water is one of the most important element to occupying our the organisms, protoplasms. 80%. The earth is occupied 70%. and every day we need up to the 5 to 6 liters of water to do our metabolic activities in a proper manner. That's why we protect the water to without any contamination. But nowadays, day by day, we see so many anthropological activities and the natural activities. Both are causes to these pollutions in the aquatic medium. So we must protecting these water bodies. These are the main water resources. How we manage? How we management? Okay. What are the managements are to taken by these water resources? Okay, let us discuss in them. And next, these are the main and open water bodies. But where we have the another water body which is in our locality, we are completely dependent upon these two water bodies. That is a groundwater levels. Now, this is the most important another one. That is groundwater. Eastern North. This is Bay of Bengal, south side Indian Ocean, and where north, east and west side of the India, which is occupies the largest ocean, that is the Arabian. These are the marine water resources, and where the freshwater resources are mainly categorized into 5 water regions. In that the first one is the largest one, that is Ganga river system, and Brahmaputra, Sindhu, and eastern rivers and western rivers. Here Narmada, Tapati, Kaveri, Godavari, Krishna, and these are the large freshwater resources in our South Indian sides. And Acheulean water is occupies 0.76 million hectares. Here the main source of water is rain. How we maintain the management of the water resources? Yes, to the another one discussing the groundwater levels. Groundwater management and the surface water. Groundwater and the surface water management. Right, here groundwater. Well, okay, wells and bore. Nowadays we may so many having the bores. Okay, wells are containing the groundwater. This groundwater, here I am simply drawing some layers of the earth. This is the soil is the first layers, and where the rocky layer, sand layers, and here the complete another rock layers. In the regions we are find out the water, right ma? That's why when we are digging through the machinery, to using of a bore machineries, okay, they can penetrate the pipelines up to these regions. Pipelines up to these regions, they can using of the water in both sides. Okay, these are layer, the hydrological layer. Hydrological layer. This layer is consists of the water which is in levels. Okay, some geographical areas are having a high much percentage of water layers, and some geological regions have only a little bit of water layers. Okay, this is the groundwater. In the groundwater levels, groundwater management, it's in a complete and substitutes of the surface waters. It may replace surface water during the drought period. Okay, during the drought period, and it permits as a source of the irrigation of the water. And when groundwater is used in a rivers, it is accumulated during the wet years and they pumped again by the drought. Okay, some areas when they are faced in the summer seasons, when the well or bore are completely dry. But when the rainy season is come, the ground layers are sinking of these water molecules and slowly increasing of their levels, water levels. Okay, then only we get some water from the groundwater bodies. And here groundwater is a common pool resume. Okay, and may be absorbed without regulations. We use it. How? What are the increasing activities? The groundwater levels. Okay, the watershed management, and every home every apartment should be constructed a pit, that is a water pit, which is most important to capturing of the rainwater, and this rainwater is slowly entered into the ground layers, okay, or soil layers, and slowly increasing the groundwater levels. That's why every home and every industrialization areas and the what we said here, the another school or some hospitals, whatever they are industries, they are completely depend upon these water sources. That's why they some maintained some water pits, and the runoff water will be storages in the reservoirs, and don't waste the excess water and don't use the excess of water. Okay, these all are most important for to conservation of these water bodies. Okay, the water is evaporated day by day. Our globe will be increasing in temperature. This is nothing but the global warming. The global warming is affected by the pollutions. Okay, what are the man-made activities and volcanic eruptions? So these are also caused the air pollution, and it is slowly increasing the thermals, okay, and the temperatures will be increases in high amounts. It is causes the global warming. So the global warmings are show the effects on the glaciers. Those glaciers are melting, and the run of the water is enter into the our natural water bodies. Their level will be increases, and so many habitats are completely covered by these water layers. Okay, and what are the most important factor in front of us? That is, we must take a precautions to digging these water pits and growing the forestations. Okay, number of plants will be plantations. Okay, we avoid the afforestations, and we are also maintaining in a proper ways, that is a grazing of animals. Okay, grazing animals in a not a continually activity and a proper place. We are changing the place, right? And the social benefits of the canal management. Okay, some parts where the reservoirs is there, these reservoirs are then filled with in the sessions, the projects, either Sriram Sagar projects or the Kaleshwaram and so on so on. Here the water will entered into by the projects. These projects, okay, they are entered into the canals. Okay, ma? Canals. These canals water is useful for the purpose of irrigation purpose. Okay, and some these water is can utilizes in industrial purpose, and this water can useful for the drinking purpose, Bhagirath. Okay, ma? Drinking. Okay, and some irrigation, industrials, and drinking, and small industrials also depend upon. For example, here the blue revolution, the fishes will be grown in a particular canal waters. Okay, they can use the fish seed. The government will producing this type of fish seeds, and they can maintain some of the nets, and the fishes can grow in these fisheries. Right, ma? This water and shellfish fisheries, finfish fisheries also growing. Right, and this is a using of canals in a proper manner by this ground, and industry and residential areas are also be able to afford it to pay much more than agricultural field crops. Their demands is relatively small, okay, but is continually by growing. If there is a newly constructions, apartments, okay, they are using more and more water than we are using by the agricultural fields or irrigations like. Okay, that's why we are less consumptions. The irrigating lands has increased from 50 million hectares, okay, in the 1900s to the 216.7 million hectares today. This recording of the 2% of annual increases. Okay, the water uses or increases in day by day or year by year. Okay, that's why we should take more and more care about the management of water resources. And irrigation has been crucial in meeting their food demanding, and the population will be increases in doubling manner. The double war and the Second World War. Irrigation prospects have been costly in the temperature capitals. There are also the pond carrying capacity, the capital amount of these waters will be increases, the environmental degradation and human health. Irrigation projects have been costly in terms, right now. When they are some establishing of some irrigation projects, these are very costly. And in terms of capitals, the environmental degradations and human health also. Okay. For example, we wants to construct a project in an area, their height will be increases. That's why the remaining villages or which occupies the surrounding area, they can suffer with these projects. So the capitals and the so and so causes are affecting on this our management resource of the water. As the population is likely to grow double again, our population will be growing in a double number, and we needed to reform the water tributaries and their projects. Right now, this is about the water management. Thank you.